welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and joining me yet again is Jason Juggling J. Ford. Today, Jay, we're going to talk about Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. We're also going to talk about the upcoming for Craig Crockwell cricket matches that will take place at Lords and St. David's over the weekend. The women's CONCACAF draw for the next round has been released. Not only the draw, but the dates for the matches. We're now into day 2 of the Bermuda Breeze USTA tennis tournament going on at Coral Beach. And of course, we're on the final countdown to the World Triathlon Series event that will be held in Bermuda. We're going to talk about all of that and more because obviously the date for the FA Cup now has been set. Again. Saturday night, 8 p.m. It's going to be a long Saturday, mate. A long Saturday.
You're not lying.
Yeah. But we'll get to all of that after this message from our sponsor.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber-to-the-home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home.
Well, we only have one more athlete to compete in the Commonwealth Games, and that'll be Tyler Butterfield in the marathon. Yesterday, Tyrone Smith finished 10th in the men's long jump final. He qualified for the final and finished 10th. Bit disappointing for him, bit disappointing for the 200-meter runners, Trey Houston and Kyle Webb, not advancing. But I spoke with the chef de mission of the Bermuda Commonwealth Games team, Couture Horton Parent Chief, just to get a roundup on how things have gone thus far. So let's get the interview with Couture, and then we could come back and we could talk a little bit about the performances overall.
Chef de Commission, Couture Horton Parent Chief. Tough day for Bermuda over in the Gold Coast of Australia. Started the day off with, obviously, the news of Flora Duffy pulling out of the mountain bike race. Your thoughts on the outcome of that?
I mean, the outcome is what it is. She has been racing so well. Obviously started off with a bang on the very first day of competition, and then raced very, very hard 2 days later. And frankly, all of the fatigue and anything that could have made her feel less than stellar to get out there on a mountain bike would be dangerous, and it's nothing that we would endorse. And the second she felt uncomfortable, I'm glad that she made a professional decision to do what was best for her health and well-being, really.
And then we finished off the day with Tyrone Smith finishing 10th in the long jump. How would you evaluate his performance?
Yeah, I think he's disappointed. I mean, he definitely is capable of a much better jump. He felt good, and he was jumping very well. It just didn't come together on the day. I think that, his qualification jump was actually a little bit farther than his finals jump. And I think, he's a little disappointed. Just some technical issues that he says that he can work on, and he should be right back in the saddle. But, yeah, I think he's a little disappointed.
Only one event to go with Tyler Butterfield due to do the marathon. How has the games been for you watching the Bermuda athletes perform thus far?
Yeah, well, as I said, I think starting off very strong with the gold medal from Flora was set the tone, and it was wonderful. And I think that we did very, very well in the team triathlon to beat some pretty powerful nations in triathlon. And then squash went very well. Micah did very, very well in his plate final. He lost that, but, I mean, to get there is quite a coup. And then, you know, right now, I think track is probably, the track athletes were pretty disappointed with how they finished, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So we've had some highs and lows in these games, but, you know, with one athlete left to perform, I mean, all we can do is stay focused until he crosses that finish line.
Well, we started off, as Couture said, we started off with a bang with Flora winning the gold, 5th place in the team event for the triathlon, Micah Franklin making it to the final of the plate in squash, and then the track and field. But Flora making a decision not to compete in the mountain bike, to concentrate, make sure she's healthy enough for the World Triathlon Series here in Bermuda, as well as the rest of her season. Your thoughts on her making that decision?
Business decision. No, it's we say it all the time, Earl. Athletes know their body best. I'm pretty sure if Flora thought that her body can deal with this race and be her optimal best for the triathlon series, she would have did it. But I might have to take a little time out. And you can have as many doctors you want, as many coaches you want. You're the person that's going to make that decision. And she made the decision.
Right. I know roundtable discussion after she decided to pull out she didn't qualify for the mountain bike, was able to get a wild card into the mountain bike, but people in this round table were talking about a decision not to represent Bermuda at an international competition. When years ago, I believe Sean Goda and David Baskin chose not to represent Bermuda and got hammered publicly. Just how the reaction has been different and how we have changed as people, looking at a professional person making the professional...
Quite different.
How?
Quite different, because from my point of view, quite different. At that time, those two guys were trying to establish themselves in the sport. At the time, I remember it happening. Those two guys were trying to secure their contracts.
Right.
At the time.
Right. They were looking for their professional career.
Exactly.
Right.
She's established herself.
Right.
She's established herself. So one would say it would be a lot easier for her to make that choice. Because it's nothing for her to...
Right.
That's why I say it's different.
Yeah. I think the discussion was more
the landscape is different.
Oh, definitely.
But in saying that, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this comes down back to the athlete.
Yeah.
What is the best to prolong an athlete's career?
Right.
And it gets sometimes is where you cannot go to every event or every tournament or everything, because when your body says slow down, if you don't take heed, you can have your career ended shortly.
And you know what? And you say that, and I'll look at it as, and I'll refer to somebody who's in business. If you go to school, become the CEO of a company, but back in the day you hung out every night.
Yeah.
Right? You become the CEO and you continue to hang out every night.
You'll never be successful.
You'll never be successful because you're going to start losing things during the day. So as an athlete, you have to look to say, okay, I can only do this amount. I can only do that. Just like a professional career indoors. Now, these guys are athletes. They compete outside. So if you look at the two, they're making the best decision for their professional career and their livelihood.
This is what, when this conversation always comes up, nobody comes out and says it, but it starts to lead down that road of questioning the heart, questioning the commitment, questioning the pride.
Right.
do what they do 24/7, 365 days.
Yeah.
Trust me, you will not question the commitment.
Nope.
You won't question the heart.
Nope.
You will not question the pride.
Not at all. But you know what? The good thing is the where I was sitting and everybody was talking, it was more just throwing out scenarios of different sports, different times, and it's just for me.
Yeah,
it was interesting conversation.
It's conversation,
Yeah,
and sometimes you want to try to, some people want to pull a racial element in
Yeah,
just for the sake of discussion.
Right.
Which, but there's no evidence of it.
No.
There's no proof of it.
Right.
So, I mean, to talk just to talk, I think the bigger thing that, and just going back to the Commonwealth Games, is just we talk about it all the time. I'm not actually surprised. When we looked at the athletes going into these games, they've pretty much well lived up to expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, athletes want to do
better than You can't do no better than a gold medal, but you want to do better. Yeah.
But even if you look at Trey and look at Tyrone, if you look at the running, look at the times and the jumps prior to this.
Right.
It's pretty much
what they were doing.
What they were doing.
Yeah.
Even Kyle Webb, it's you would like for them to have these personal bests or this, that, but the expectation is if there's a trend of these numbers, you'll probably get these numbers.
Yeah, definitely.
The unfortunate part, one thing we know about long jump is just who's jumping what numbers on that day.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the sport is taking over by two South Africans.
Yes.
Especially with Rutherford out from Great Britain. They're leaping 8:20, 8:22 on a regular basis.
Easy.
Yeah. And, even when I wrote up, in order for Tyrone to have medaled, he would have had to have beaten his gold medal performance at the CAC Games 8 years ago in order to get into medal contention. Can't see that happening.
Not by the running.
No.
Not by the running.
No.
Trey Houston, the same thing.
Yeah.
He's mentioned about his preparation coming back home, not being all the resources that he would love to have at his disposal. Him trying out for NFL team only about half a year ago.
Yeah.
That took his attention away from the CAC, the Commonwealth Games. And even prior to that, what was his times?
Yeah.
His basic, to be honest with you, the times are very close to him going to do the NFL stuff.
Yeah.
So the only thing that was, I won't say surprising, but it was Tyler Smith performing. But once again, prior to his standard,
right,
he would have loved to do a lot better.
Yeah.
Flora Duffy, she's number one triathlete in the world.
Yeah.
What you expect to come 12th?
Yeah.
Unlike the Olympics.
Right.
Unlike the Olympics.
Right.
Our expectations were her to be on the podium.
Right.
So, all in all, I'm proud of each and every athlete
that
went to the Commonwealth, because going into it, when we assess the athletes, this is what we was expecting.
Yeah.
No, we was hoping.
Sure.
Which is another word.
Yes. and that carries a lot of it, because you always want to hope for the best and better for the athlete, and sometimes it doesn't work out that way. But like you said, as long as they're giving their all and their best, that's all we can ask for.
The commitment going, during these games, but also, it's a crossroads for a couple of these athletes.
Yeah.
Because of
age and able to commit.
Commitment.
Yeah.
I keep saying this word, but it's commitment.
As you get older, you have to start thinking past athletics or sports and start thinking life, career. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. Trey is going to have some interesting discussions that he's going to have. Even Tyrone.
Yeah.
I know Tyrone would love to get to the Olympics.
Well, in Brazil, he said that's it.
But that's, Olympics is what, 2020?
Yeah, it's 2 years away.
Yeah, so can you be committed? Can you get the sponsorship to travel the world to do these events, to stay with the elite athletes?
That's why I'm always worried about athletes saying that's it when it's not it.
It's hard, though.
Yeah.
It's harder. It's really hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest with you, what is your expectations? Because you just mentioned for Tyrone, these South Africans.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to our last show. South Africa has put so much emphasis on their track and field athletes.
Yeah.
Resources and the whole nine. And I don't know, obviously we probably won't be able to match the monetary resources.
Right.
But we need to be taking a look because they are printing athletes.
Yeah.
World-class athletes.
Yeah.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, this coming Saturday, Jay, at Lloyd's in St. David's will be the second or the third? Second?
I believe second.
Second
Yep,
annual for Craig Crockwell cricket tournament. I think it's, 7-a-side, 8-a-side?
It actually starts Friday night with the youngsters.
Youngsters, right, right. And then all day, PHC, the defending champions.
Yes.
Should be some interesting times there because it's more of a slugfest than it is. But it's fun. It's fun. It's for a good cause. Well organized. Last year was what I consider well organized, well structured. Everybody having fun. You want to win, but it wasn't all about that. It was about the day.
Well, I tell you, Earl, when you see the makeup of some of these teams, you know there's laughter coming.
Oh, definitely.
So I encourage everybody to get there for first ball. This is like first ball a cup match. I mean, it's gonna be hilarious from ball number one. But you mentioned it's for a good cause. When you're talking about bringing awareness to gun violence that has hurt our community, and taking a life too young.
Yeah.
So these are some things that the family came together and says, you know what? Let's turn this into a positive. And this is what's come out of it. And you'd be surprised. I can't say you'd be surprised, but the guys or just the players from east to west, north and south, are coming to participate, in an early season tournament.
Right.
But some of these guys are cricketers, some of them are not cricketers.
Right. Just a chance to be out there.
But just a chance to be out there and also support not only the family but also the community. Right.
Which is, I'm looking forward to a good day of cricket.
I will be down the first thing tomorrow morning. If you're talking about the afternoon.
You mean Saturday morning?
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I'll be down the first thing in the morning.
That means it's sleeping down there. Yeah, as we all know. He works hard nights, so just hard.
You talk about the other event I'll have to do on Saturday afternoon, because I'm hoping to see my boy put his boots on. Oh boy,
I ain't got no rain boots. We might as well get to that because the Earl Boys will be playing. St. George's Somerset Earl Boys will be playing across the pond.
Oh boy.
At the Wellington Oval.
Oh boy.
You can call me Earl all you want. I am wise enough not to put on any football boots.
Yes, Aru Smith.
All-Star. East-West All-Star.
Yep.
Yeah. Where the two clubs for a number of years have ended the season rolling back the times. And
a lot of rolling.
Well, yeah. It's a good event only because they've maintained it over 40s, and I think the guys have respected that and the game itself. It's been a lot of fun over the years, and a lot of people look forward to that because they get to see some of those old guys a lot slower, but still got that competitive spirit.
Well, I'll say this, Earl. It's probably one of the most attended games.
Yeah. Yeah.
In all of football.
All of football. Yeah. Yeah.
All of football. You would think it's turning the clock back 25 years ago when we was getting thousands at the field on Sunday. That's the oohs and ahs and the groans.
Well, that was from the crowd back then.
Shouting.
This time it's from the guys on the field. Ooh, I can't get that. Ah, you better get that.
But you just standing along the fence or along the wall, and
Yeah.
you hear people shouting out to these players. They're like, "Look, I'm trying. I just can't get to."
Slow the ball down. But yeah, we're looking forward to a good afternoon at Wellington Oval because, again, you get to see a lot of the guys you don't always get to see on a regular basis. And that camaraderie between the two clubs and the guys themselves, it's long lasting.
And I tell you, man, from guys you just mentioned over 40s, guys who just got into their 40s, you see these young guys get down to
Yeah.
But you also see the likes of George Jones, who's in his 80s, you know, lacing up his boots.
Yeah.
To see George, now we know George is one speed.
Oh, yeah.
We see when he does his road running, it's one speed.
One speed.
And it stays that way on the football
Sure.
field.
Sure.
Even if it's 5 minutes, he makes sure that he suits up and they get him on the field. And he comes off the field.
And that's what that particular game's all about. It's all about making sure that everybody gets a turn to be on the field and they enjoy themselves for that period of time. Yes, again, you want to win. You do. I know there are some guys that actually train to make sure that they can sustain over that period of time because they want to make sure that the recovery time isn't as bad as it was the year before. But you know, they're taking care of themselves and they get out and they just want to entertain, and that's
now,
what it's all about.
This year, unlike last year, I think last year it was an outright defeat. The West defeated the East, outright defeat.
Yeah.
But prior to that, probably like 3 years in a row, the games were going into penalties.
Yeah.
Extra time and penalties. So it's going to be interesting, you know, what's going to happen on Saturday. And like I said, I'll be there later in the afternoon to see that.
Yeah, I've got my bang game. For you guys, not for me. Not for me. I will not be suiting up.
Got his girl boots ready.
Good. Deodora. Well, we're going to stay with football because the women's CONCACAF draw was made recently, where Bermuda was drawn into Group E with Guyana, Barbados, and Suriname. Just recently, the matches were allocated. May 23rd, Bermuda will take on the host Guyana. On the 25th, we'll play Barbados. And on the 27th, we'll face Suriname. I believe the top two teams advance. Let me just say, okay, the first team advanced definitely out of the group. I'm not sure about the second team, but that's how it is so far. So
yeah, when I heard the date, I was like, ooh,
yeah, day before the holiday.
Second game is actually Bermuda Day parade.
Yeah, on that Friday.
So folks will be at the parade, but checking the phones.
Right. The game's in the evening on that Friday.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll race home then.
Definitely. And then, of course, on the Sunday they play Suriname. The opening game they play the hosts, and that will be the late game. And then the next two games they play the early game, so 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then it's 8:30 for the late kickoff. So
and that's 6 o'clock our time.
Guyana time. So we'll check into that.
Yes.
As we get closer to those dates, and obviously now things change gear. I know the association is preparing for the girls under 17 team to depart on Saturday, going for a training camp and then off to Nicaragua. But the gears have to change as well for some of that coaching staff because the women's team has to be pulled together while they're there, prepared to.
Well, Arab, that's why you see why I'm smiling, because we know the preparations are put in place.
Yes.
We're getting the practice matches to give these girls the best chance.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I gotta say, just on, you know, somebody on the outside looking in, we've seen to keep the nucleus of these girls. Have these training camps. Put them in any type of tournament they could put them in.
Yeah.
And I can go back and say, we're doing this without
a league.
A league.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny, Jay? Some of these girls who will go in this under 17 team will turn around and go to Guyana, and then turn around and go to the under 15 tournament again.
Nice.
Yeah. The experience that they're going to have over this week.
Yes.
You know, and it has to look, you have to look at it as a positive step for women's football in Bermuda, globally as well, but in Bermuda only because they can see the forest through the trees.
Yes.
They can see that, okay, we're going, because I remember talking to Nikita Robinson when she first started before she became into the national program. Her goal was to improve women's football. And the girls were just training, constantly training. She was giving them drills, and they were doing that with nothing in sight of
forward to.
Right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the national program comes along, and games get dropped in. Now the girls get even more excited, but they had the base. You know what I mean? And you can now see that with the national program with the boys and the men, because now you see Nations Cup. You see the under 15 CONCACAF regional tournaments, under 17, under 19. They could see this now because so many more opportunities have now been afforded to them. It's easy for guys to really want to get involved in the national program.
Well, I've one of my themes I go off on life is when the opportunity arises, are you ready?
Yeah.
Opportunities will come.
Oh, definitely.
But are you ready? Are you prepared to take advantage of it? And these are the things that they've done. So when these tournaments
do come around, we're ready.
They're ready. So I just can't.
Again, whether or not we advance, at least we're playing. We're playing on a regular basis, and we're encouraging more people to do the right things to be involved.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Well, Jay, as we said in the lead up, we're in day 2 of the Bermuda Breeze tennis tournament taking place at the Coral Beach. The age group, yeah.
This is your speed.
Well, I'm playing in the 70s.
See, when we talk about this tournament, we just have to slow everything down.
Yeah, well, they start with the 40s in the men and women, and then 50s and 60s, 65s, 70s.
There you go, that's your speed.
I tell you, I'm playing the 70s. I'm playing the 70 because anything 2 feet to the left or the right, that's a good shot. Okay,
yeah. Ball boy, throw it back.
Unfortunately, they ain't got no ball boy. They're hoping that the ball hits the fence properly and bounces back to him. Yeah, good serve. Let's get the roundup of the day of tennis, the opening day of tennis at the Coral Beach Tennis Club. The Bermuda Breeze International Tennis Tournament got underway at the Coral Beach and Tennis Clubs today with action taking place on the clay courts. In men's 50 singles action, Michael Wade defeated John Aubach in straight set 6-love, 6-love. Dean Mallow defeated Christopher Barjett 6-love, 6-4. In men's 60 singles action, Robert Steinmetz defeated David Watt 7-6, 6-3. Wilfred Gonzalez defeated Richard Adler 7-6, 1-6, 7-6. In 65 men's singles action, Michael Cain defeated Michael Harvey in a 3-set battle 7-5, 4-6, 7-5. Roy Riley got by Casey Moore 6-3, 6-4. Ross Hillian defeated Joseph Linden 6-4, 6-4.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber-to-the-home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber-to-the-home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you'll get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber-to-the-home network.
Well, Jay, we're only 2 weeks away from the World Triathlon Series event taking place in Bermuda. We've seen a lot of things taking place in order to be ready for it. We've seen the dock on Front Street getting repaired. We've seen roads being paved. We've seen crosswalks taken up in Hamilton. We've seen a lot of stuff going on.
They're coming back, folks. Don't think there's speed bumps will come back.
Yeah, well, had a chance to ask a few questions to the corporation, just regarding the speed bumps, because as a sportsman, you notice a lot of things take place. Now, I remember the 2012 Olympics. On the triathlon course, there was a corner that everyone talked about. It was, I think they call it Pebblestone, where they knew if it drizzled,
slick,
right, but they didn't pave it. They left it. So my question was, why are we removing obstacles that are normal for us? And, well, the answer came back, well, you have to talk to the ITU why they would change that. Haven't had an opportunity to get to them. Obviously, they're busy with what they're doing over in the Commonwealth. But, you know, it's almost like we're removing stuff to smoothen out the surface when it's another obstacle and a challenge.
Well, two things come to play. And the paramount thing is safety of the athlete.
Yeah.
So I think
What about the safety of the people?
Well, I'm getting there. That's the next one.
Okay, yeah.
That is the next one. The first thing is the athlete. The athlete's competing. Obviously, the next will be the spectators to make sure that they are.
You're not a spectator until that day. What about today?
Can I finish?
No! That's my job. Go.
Okay, thank you.
Go.
So the first thing is the safety. So any athlete, if the athletes come and say, "Hey, we deem this is really gonna tear us up," then I think some things get, But if you look at the sport, and I think this is what you're alluding to, there's gonna be no perfect track. There's gonna be no perfect.
They use road. They use it.
Football field.
Yeah.
There's gonna be no perfect wicket.
Yeah.
There's gonna be no perfect weather conditions if you're outside.
Nope.
So these are challenges and variables that you won't know until that day. But that's why you have a committee.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure they have a technical committee for these questions.
Oh yeah.
And obviously they have stakeholders. Obviously these stakeholders will be obviously number one. The athlete.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
President, probably former too. And then also just getting some other intake. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I've seen many countries do a lot of crazy stuff for any events that come in. Sometimes it could be just money. Folks who uses the opportunity to say, "Hey, let's fix up the road that we wanted to fix up for a long time, but we're going to use this event because we need to fix it up."
Yeah.
I would hate to say that's coming to play here.
Right.
But let's say it is what it is. And I think with any athlete, even if we talk about Supercross, any athlete, you look at, okay, we identify this is going to be an area for us. Well, hey, let's prepare ourselves mentally for it and deal with it.
Right.
Do
you put it back? Do you put it back after May 24th?
Well, that's the whole depending on what the decisions they have made. I'm telling you, the speed bumps are coming back. I know that.
You don't know
that.
when?
Well, like I said, come back down to Monday.
I don't think they'll come back then.
See, you gotta understand, Earl. You gotta understand. It takes money to make these changes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's gonna take money to.
Sure. I don't think they'll come back though.
Well,
because remember, we got it 3 years.
Okay. When I say come back, I'm not saying coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it don't make sense putting it back right after this particular event,
and they have to take it.
And then take it back up next year.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, they're not coming
once
back.
Once again, that's called money.
Yeah, they're not coming back.
They're not going to waste that money.
That's why I say they're not coming back
after these 3 years is up. If it doesn't get and I tell you that, and then I say this here because once again it will come back to the safety of the pedestrians, because if there, let's think about it. Last thing, and hopefully it doesn't happen, but if there is an accident or frequent accident spot where they deem that speed bump will help alleviate some of that, well then they're going to put it back. You know that, I know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, but if it doesn't, it take a little longer before it gets put back.
Sure.
You know how things work around here.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to, I hate to say it, somebody's got to get hurt first.
Mm-hmm.
Versus say, okay, you know what? I think we need a speed bump there now.
Yeah.
After the 4th, 5th, 6th presses. I hate this, but that's how things.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I mean, just noting those type of things that we see the changes, and obviously, like you say, it's for the safety of the athlete, but we also want to make sure that it's communicated that it's safety for everyone. Do you put strips down as a crosswalk on the regular route? Mm-hmm. You know, to make sure that the pedestrian still remembers that where the cross, and for the vehicles that travel up until whatever day is the cutoff, and after that. You know, we've also heard that there are some stores who won't even open their doors on that day.
Well, that's I think, I hate to say that comes with having a major event in a city center.
Yeah.
The problems that they're going to be faced with happens in any major event in a city center. And I look at even a large event. Let's take, for instance, the Formula One racing in Italy. It's really, do you know how many stores have to be closed for miles? But to host that event in that major city,
again, but that comes down to dollars and cents, because when you start talking about millions of dollars,
I keep saying,
it comes down to money, dollars and cents.
It'd be interesting, and you know, what's the compensation?
Yeah. Will they have that conversation?
I'm pretty sure they've had to have had it.
Okay.
You can't be. Somebody would have to pay me to close my. If I'm doing X amount of business on that day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just,
and, you know, and you say that like in business centers where they have major races and all that. What they don't have is grocery stores. They might have low snack shops and so forth.
Right.
In Bermuda, you're gonna have 2 grocery stores and Saturday's a big day for them.
Once again, it's dollars and cents.
Yeah.
So for you to have it here, it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
For you to have it, you know what? You could have had it on Clearwater. It wouldn't cost you much.
Right.
So
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, FA Cup, Saturday, 8 p.m., Robin Hood, Southampton Rangers.
Why was the cancellation, the last one?
The BFA sent out a press release saying that they had postponed it.
I'm asking you, investigative reporter. I saw that, I read that, but I'm just, any more information regarding why it was postponed?
No, the governing body of football, they said it's postponed. What? Maybe the referee couldn't make it.
That's all you got for me?
That's all I've got. Listen.
You didn't ask the question?
Why? No.
Oh, okay.
It could have been several reasons. One of the reasons could have been the impending weather that never materialized.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, football.
Rain. I'll tell you what. Tuesday morning.
I didn't say thunder. I said rain.
Tuesday morning, you had the thunder, you had rain. After Sunday, that thunder and that rain, anybody sitting there in the morning would have said, how no?
So did it come again after Tuesday morning?
No, it didn't.
What about 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
By that time, the decision was made. And then maybe the stadium said no. I mean, maybe they couldn't get security. I don't know. But the rain date was already scheduled for the following Sunday.
Okay.
That if the game was postponed for reasons, it was supposed to be the following Sunday. But then they had to change that because the Sunday is the Sports Expo, so they then rescheduled it for the Saturday night.
Sports Expo. Okay.
Yeah. If there was going to be a replay, it would have had to been Saturday night due to the commitments that the stadium already had.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it like that. Interesting.
Got your pants for Saturday?
Premier game of the football season, the last game of the football season, and it just feels like it's ho-hum.
Didn't like the season.
I ain't saying that. JC came in 4 trophies. What are you talking about?
It's been ho-hum for everybody else.
Yeah, I know. That's how it is for St. George's. I forgot. I forgot. It's been like that
Been
for many
ho-hum
years.
for everybody else.
For many
Don't worry about that, man. Don't worry about that. Last year you was crying, crowing.
I lost the league by a goal difference.
So you lost.
Had a couple trophies.
You're the only one that remembers coming second.
Had a couple of trophies though. What about those Colts?
All right.
The only claim to fame that you beat the Everton Colts and St. David's.
Hey, sometimes there's the only 2 teams that matter, mate. Been those 2 games. As you said, Baylor's Bay don't have to win the league. Just win Connie, mate. Small things. You did say that.
Rodney Trott said
Well, you said.
I repeated what he said.
Well, and you said it with like, yes, it's a meaning, it's a saying. And
He said that. He said the press conference. You was at the press conference.
yeah, I was there.
Okay.
I recorded it.
Okay.
Yeah. So hey,
He was absolutely right.
ain't right. Well, folks, have a good night. What you got? What you got?
He's racing down the road,
Man, it's 8:00 at night, man.
Okay, so since it is 8 o'clock at night, no, just want to talk about the Sunday. Sunday will be, I believe, now the 3rd Code Red charity tournament, golf tournament that'll be taking place up the Ocean View course. Once again, we have invited Earl Basin to dig up the grounds.
Golf course cleared. Johnny Walker tournament canceled under reconstruction.
But actually, to see the likes of former players, current cricketers out there, the boys from North Village,
Oh boy.
all the deals and everybody out there, the guys from St. David's, the youngsters who play for Flats team and cricket, those guys out there, maybe guys from Somerset, guys from, I mean, it's a good thing, but also what we've done with Code Red is that our charity component of our carnival band, and some folks say, well, why you guys do golf? Well, the carnival's one event of the year, but we want to make sure that we are helping our community throughout the year. And every year we give funds to not just, let's say, a charitable organization, but we try to make it a little bit more personal.
Right.
The fresh year we did to Nakia Smith's wife, you know, and she ended up losing her battle with cancer. Last year's Mr. Dale Henley, who had a bad bike accident, had to get reconstructive face surgery.
Right. Yeah. So remember that.
Right, and we helped to offset some of his medical bills. And this year is one of our guys who's one of our masqueraders from day one, but is also a sportsman, George O'Brien Sr.,
Okay.
who is himself battling cancer. So, you know, this time for us as just community organizations to just try to come together, raise some money to offset some medical bills, because we know when anybody fighting cancer, those bills can add up very, very
Yes,
quickly.
indeed. Yeah.
So it's definitely a fun tournament. I tell you guys, you know, it's Captain's
Officially,
Choice.
Earl Baston has not been invited.
And I'll give you guys just obviously with Bacardi as the main sponsor, so you know that I'm in charge of making sure that everybody's hydrated on the course. So I'm just saying, it's.
That's a real trick.
I do a great job of it.
That's a real trick.
Tee off time is around 1 o'clock, and after that we have lunch or dinner. Probably that time.
I was just gonna say, time you think you're getting
By the
back?
time you get in, it's probably dinner. But a lot of fabulous prizes. But all in all, like I said, not just have good fun, but also take care of George O'Brien Sr.
Definitely a good cause. A good cause.
Yeah, so
All the best.
All the best for you. I can't wait. Come on, need a foursome, man. Yeah, you can't go with Brian Morrison. Those guys got that team. Sammy Robinson, Roger Ednes.
If Tiger, Phil, and Sergio are not available,
It's Captain's
I can't
Choice,
make
though.
it.
You can do that.
So you just heard my team, right? Tiger, Phil, and Sergio. Okay.
What type of sportsman are you?
Yeah, right. Under construction, Ocean View Golf Course, closed for business, and hoping to reopen next year this time after craters were created along the way.
We have to do a next show from the golf course.
Hey, I didn't know that. I didn't know what we can see some deer from here. Yeah.
This was a 9-hill course. Why is it 13 now? It's too many. We got 4 extra hills we didn't have before.
Well, folks, have a good night from the Digicel Sports Show.
4.